Oh, what is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXGamerCast. We're on episode 178 of my little gaming show where once a week I just have to talk about video games. Whether they're new video games that I'm playing today, old video games that I grew up with, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today we are doing a little indie episode, or as a buddy of mine likes to call them, a mini indie episode. So we're going to talk about a couple of indie games today that I've recently taken down, and we'll put them together and we'll do an episode on that. But before we get into the double review, let us discuss what I've been up to over the last week or so. As I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener, let me know what y'all have been up to over the last whatever amount of time. It doesn't matter. What games are you diving into this bitterly cold winter? It has been a nasty winter so far. Odd temperatures this week. It was actually +9 one day here. Regardless, you don't want to hear about the weather, but regardless, what games are you playing right now? What games do you just bundle up with? Do you like to do replays during this cold season, or do you like to dive into big RPGs, or what are you playing right now? Me, myself, I'm on a little indie kick right now, and online multiplayer. That's all I've really been playing, but yeah, let me know what y'all have been playing. So, what have I been up to? Well, last night I started rewatching Fallout. The new season is among us. It's currently ongoing. I'm just waiting for it to finish off. And I've gotten impatient. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to start rewatching season 1 because it was so good. Why not watch it again? Get myself all caught up and ready for season 2. So that's what I did. I rewatched episode 1 last night. So freaking good, man. So freaking good. I got Stony Baloney and just sat there and watched the first episode. Really, really strong first episode of Fallout. I'm surprised. There's a few people that I've talked to about Fallout, and they didn't make it past the first episode. I'm like, really? The first episode didn't grab you enough to get you in there? The bombs drop in, and the whole starting of the vault, and the introduction of the main character was so good, and actually the introduction of the 3 main characters were very good. Yeah, very enjoyable show. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Prime, and it's very well worth your time. And they just started season 2, and not going to get into any spoilers right there, but I'm very excited to dive into season 2, and very excited to see if there's going to be any Fallout video game related announcements coming out soon. There's a lot of talk, there's nothing solidified yet, but there's lots of talks of some sort of Fallout announcement coming maybe at the end of season 2 or an upcoming video game award show or something like that. But regardless, I am itching for Fallout 3 Remaster, Fallout Vegas. Give me something. Like, don't make me have to replay like Fallout 4 or something. I don't want to play that game again. I want a new old experience. You know what I'm saying? I want an old game that I played. Don't make me boot up the old Fallout 3 again. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait at this point for a new Fallout game. We're still years and years away from Fallout 5 coming out. And yeah, dude, so it's going to be a while. They should have I know they've been doing stuff with Fallout 76, but who the hell plays Fallout 76? I sure as hell haven't even touched that game. Maybe I should. Does anyone play Fallout 76? Is it worth my time? Is it a good game now? Like, I know when it came out, it's one of those things, like, it comes out, it's a little bit of a barren wasteland, pun intended, and now it's a little more full. They're adding in stuff from the show, I guess, and like, that's cool, but never really got behind the concept of Fallout 76. I was never interested in it upon announcement, even though that's something I've always wanted. I always wanted like a co-op Fallout experience, but just not that way. I don't know. I just wasn't interested in Fallout 76, but I am curious. Is anyone out there playing it, and is it worth my time today? Like, is it something that I should check out? I don't know. All right. Let's talk about, so we did that. Still playing Helldivers, planning on doing a review on that next week. Hopefully next week. I don't think anything else is going to come up. I just happened to finish these 2 indie games this week. They're fresh in my mind, so I figured let's do those now. It'll give me even more time to play more Helldivers and Arc Raiders. Get ready for that Versus and a bunch of reviews coming out. So we'll get ready for that. Didn't play a lot of Helldivers this week, just one session with the homies. And it's still good. Like, I am sadly not playing as much as I would like to right now. Arc Raiders, admittedly, is taking up a lot of my spare time, and playing other indie games right now in my other spare time, plus life. There's only so much time. Work's busy and all that good stuff. So we're doing that. Playing Helldivers, still enjoying it. I'm almost at level 25. really pushing to get to level 25 so I can get the vehicles, get the mech suit and all that. So hopefully by time I do the review for Helldivers next week, I'll be all level 25. I'll be able to drive around and see what that's all about. But yeah, I want to get in some more Helldive in time. But Arc Raiders, oh buddy. So still playing Arc Raiders, having a good time there. I don't know what level I am. I'm like 20-something. I think I'm like 28 maybe now. But I'm putting in more time into Arc Raiders. Really enjoying it. It's a game that I don't have to play it with people. I can play Arc Raiders alone, but I have been preferred to play it with the homie Jesse and or Luke and or Matt. Also, Matt has jumped in and played a little bit with him as well. So still enjoying it, still raiding, still doing missions right now. We've just been banging off a whole bunch of missions. The missions are a little bit like, they're whatever, like they're not all that exciting. It's like, go here, go investigate this, go investigate that. We've just recently been on a big chain of like one run missions where you have to do like 3 or 4 objectives in one raid, or you have to start the whole thing over again. And unfortunately, I have this one mission that is just not completing for me. I have done it like 3 different times now, and one time I forgot one thing. Another time, it just didn't, and 2 times now, it just hasn't gone through, where I'm like, all right, I got the thing that you told me to get, I brought it back, I excavated successfully, and the mission still isn't popping for me, so I'm like, what the fuck? Now I gotta do it alone, and I'm not into that, so I haven't enjoyed that mission, but outside of that, the game is still awesome. It is getting a little bit, each time I talk about this game, I talk about how it's getting a little bit more aggressive each time I play. More and more raiders are starting to attack on site. More people are taking the risks and so on and so forth. Still having lots of like really good moments as well. Like we had a nice big group and we're like, oh, you want to take down this leaper? We took down a leaper. We took down a rocketeer because we had this group of like 6 or 8 of us. So we just all banded together, worked together, took down some big arc. It was a lot of fun. I took down my first rocketeer. That was a lot of fun. Similar as it was for the Bastion, I just kind of got a late shot on it, and I got the kill shot, got the trophy, so that's been fun. I've been trophy hunting for this game quite a bit. Trying to... I'm not going to platinum this game, that's for sure. There's no way. Like, I'm already looking at the one get to level 75, and that is quite a mountain to climb right there. Like, I've already put in, like, 40 hours on this game, and I'm only, like, not even at level 30 yet, so I'm not even halfway there, and there's still a lot to do. So I'm happy. I'm waiting for maybe the game to add some more stuff, or at least announcements on some additions. Are we going to add a new map? Are we going to add in some new content? Some more missions to play, maybe a new level cap. Because I have a couple of buddies that have already finished off all the missions, and I'm worried about what happens once I'm done all the missions. What am I going to be doing? Am I just going to be raiding still? Am I still just going to be out there looting for better gear and so on and so forth? I mean, that's kind of the gameplay loop, but regardless, still enjoying Arc Raiders. We'll be doing reviews on that in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully a Versus by the end of the month. So that should be cool. All right. And I also just wanted to quickly talk about SmackDown that happened this week. SmackDown had a big old 3 Stages of Hell match that I checked out. We don't get a lot of 3 Stages of Hell matches. I think they said this is only the 4th one that's ever happened. So that piqued my interest. I decided to check out SmackDown this week. Pretty good show overall. I mean, obviously the main event here was the 3 Stages of Hell match, which was really good. And believe it or not, Drew McIntyre is the new WWE champion, and I am over the moon. Drew McIntyre is one of my favorite superstars in the modern era. He's probably top 3 active wrestlers right now. I absolutely adore Drew McIntyre. Everything that he does is excellent, and I'm so happy he's finally getting a championship run again with people in the crowds. Like, he was the COVID champion, man. He was the MVP of COVID for WWE, and he didn't get his due, man. He had to celebrate with no fans. It was very, very ungood for Drew McIntyre, and I've been waiting for him to get his comeuppance and finally get another championship run. He is a heel right now, so it's not gonna be the same, but obviously he has been crushing it as a heel in my eyes. I absolutely love this whole conspiracy theory that he's been going on. Everyone's out to get Drew McIntyre. Everyone's trying to screw over Drew McIntyre. It's really entertaining. And excited to see what's going to happen here going forward with Drew McIntyre. We are ramping up into the hot season now for WWE. The Royal Rumble is coming up, which means WrestleMania is not that far away. That's in April, so that is still a bit of ways, but we're ramping up to the road to WrestleMania season in WWE, so that's exciting. Maybe I'll be able to drop some reviews for WWE pay-per-views if I get a chance to watch them and have time to record an episode. I would love to do that. I still love WWE and everything. I haven't been able to watch weekly and watch everything because there's so freaking much with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision. Like, it was just too much. I couldn't keep up with it. I am shocked I kept up with it for as long as I did, but now I'm at the point where I just can't keep up. It's not bad WWE right now, but it's a little bit boring. It's a little bit bland. They don't really have, like, they're in I would say a transitional process where they're trying to make some new stars. They're trying out some new people, and it's not really working. But, and there's obviously been a lot of heat towards Triple H lately and how he's been running the company, but I still think it's in much better hands than it was, in McMahon's hands. I think Triple H, he's losing his grasp a little bit. He's starting to lose a little bit of focus. I think he just needs to kind of focus on one show instead of, I think he's just got too many spinning plates right now. Regardless, good episode of SmackDown to get a 3 Stages of Hell match, commercial free, by the way. That was also a nice touch. So that was really cool. In terms of other games I am playing, I played some Black Ops 7 this week. They had a new zombies map that I checked out. It was pretty good. I only played it once, but not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite of the 3 maps that I played so far. It was just kind of congested, and there are a lot of places to get stuck. But it was still fun. I always like a new zombies map, so that was good. We got to like level 30 or something, me and Jesse, just me and him by ourselves, so we did pretty good right there. And I played those indie games this week. We'll be talking about that. Skate Story and Despelote. I hope I'm saying that right. Despelote? I don't know, but I literally just rolled credits on it moments ago. One sitter. It took me maybe 2 hours to beat that game, so we'll be talking about that in just a moment. But yeah, let me know what y'all have been playing. What games are you into? Are you still playing Arc Raiders? Are you enjoying that? Do you still play Helldivers? There's still a lot of people Helldiving out there. There's a big mission in Helldivers this week, and there was like over 14,000 people on just this one planet alone trying to liberate it, so that was a lot of fun. But let me know what y'all have been playing. What movies have you seen recently? I haven't been watching movies lately. I'm into Fallout now, so that's going to be my viewing experience, but I would love some movie recommendations. Luke has been really good at movie recommendations. The only problem is a lot of the movies he recommends, I've already seen them. He recommended, what was that movie called? I just recently, The Body? Doesn't matter. Anyway, he recommended it. I was like, I already saw it. It was awesome. It was such a me movie, and it was very, very, very good. Regardless, let me know what movies are out there that I should check out. Horror movies specifically would be preferred, but any good movie, any good quirky movie, something weird, something out of left field. I always like those ones, but, I don't know. There was that movie Saltburn. If anyone remembers that, don't go that far. That movie was too far. I didn't like that one. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about some indie video games. Okay, let's get into it. So, we got 2 indie games that I want to talk about today. We got Despelote and Skate Story. 2 very different video games. One's more focused on story, and one is more focused on gameplay. Now, it's funny because the one is called Skate Story. You would think maybe that one's the story-based one, but no. There is a story to that game, of course, there is, but Despelote. We'll start with Despelote, because I literally just finished it about a half hour ago, so let's talk about it. What was Despelote? Well, Despelote was a narrative video game. You play as a young boy in Ecuador, and you're just kind of living the life of a kid in Ecuador around this time when Ecuador was just making the World Cup finals in soccer, or football, if you will, whatever, We're talking about the one with the ball that you kick with your feet, and it goes into a net, and there's people running around and stuff like that. That is a lot of sports, I do understand, but regardless, we're talking about soccer and or football. But that is like the whole basis of the game, is that you're just a kid growing up in Ecuador. It's very, very short. I beat this game in about hour and a half, 2 hours ish, like 2 hours, I would say. And it's very narrative driven. I didn't get a lot of the narrative. Like, the big problem was it was all in, I'm guessing, Spanish or something. The whole entire game was in Spanish. The spoken language was in, everything was written as Spanish. I could read it, like you could read it in English, or sorry, it wasn't written in Spanish, but it was written in English, but everything spoken was in Spanish. And I was kind of drawn, like I should have spent more time just reading it, but I was focused on the little bit of gameplay that there is in Despelote. And Despelote, it's a first-person narrative game, and you have the ability, like, it starts you out, you're playing a game inside a game. You're playing a little soccer game inside of this little soccer story game, and it's like you're playing it on a fucking Nintendo or something. It's very old school. It's very simple. It's not much. You just shoot the ball. But you're just kind of taking in this narrative of this little boy, and it's very simple. Like, there wasn't even really a special story to it. It was just kind of like a growing up story. I don't want to spoil the whole entire thing. I don't think there's really much to spoil here, but there's not a lot of gameplay to the game. You're just kind of walking around. You have a soccer ball that you can kick around. All you do is you pull back on the thumbstick, and you shoot it forward, and you kick the ball. And rather your friends will go get it, you can go chase it, or you can just forget about it, and the ball just goes wherever it's going to go. So the ball physics are pretty cool. They work and all that, but it's pretty much just a narrative. Like, one thing, you're just kind of hanging out with your sister at the park, and your mom is like, all right, I'm going to go off and do some errands. I'll be back here at 6:30. Come be here at 6:30, and you can go off and just kind of explore the world. And it's a very unique art style. I don't know if I've seen anything quite like it. It's kind of like paper in I don't know. It's very strange. It's a very, very unique art style. Kind of like I don't know what that song is, that it's all kind of like crayon or something, but it's a very unique art style. It's really hard to explain what the hell it's got going on with that art style, but it's very cool. The music is nice and chill, good vibes. The sound effects are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Like the voice acting, like, it sounds like a real lively little place that we're in right here. There's people talking and laughing and having a good time, and they're just having their own conversations. They're living their own little lives, and you're just kind of sucking it all up, and you can just go around exploring this, exploring that. There's really not a lot to it. So I don't have a lot to say about Despelote, because it just didn't really have a lot going on there other than a very unique art style, some damn good music, and very good sound effects. Like I said, just the atmosphere of the game and everything, the sound effects were bumping. But overall, do I recommend this game? Not really, unless you're like really big into soccer, which I am not. I'm not a soccer guy. I did play soccer growing up as a kid. Forcefully, I did not want to play soccer, but I was a very fat child, so they decided to put me into soccer, which is not a smart thing to do, but they did it. So I don't really have a great relationship with soccer. It was fine. Like, it was really, for the price point, I paid $13 for this game on sale. I got 2 hours out of it. I probably won't play it again. Like, maybe I will, just to try and, like, follow the storyline a little bit more. Because, like I said, the little bit of gameplay I was focused on, like, you're just kind of standing around in a circle, talking with your friends, and you're kicking the ball around. I was more focused on kicking the ball and, like, getting the ball and that, instead of focused in on the conversation. So, and the conversations kind of went by pretty quickly. Like, they're talking in their language, and I can only read so fast and get a grasp of what the hell is going on. But yeah, I don't know. I can't overly recommend this game. Like, I hit it with like a 7 out of 10. It was good, but I don't know. The story wasn't like anything amazing. Like, it was just a cool little slice of life. That's what the whole game is about. It's about the developer's childhood memories, like his earliest memories. This is what he remembered, and it's kind of a game about a memory. So it's interesting, it's different. I can't say I've ever played anything quite like it, but no, I can't really sit there and go spend $15-20 on this game unless you're a huge soccer fan. yeah, I can't sit here and say, like, go out and spend your money, sadly. It's not that I didn't enjoy my experience. I just can't sit there and say, like, that was just unbelievable. I don't know what I was really expecting with Despelote. I don't know what I was expecting. That's what I do with video games, man. I take a chance on them. If I hear they're really good, I'll take a chance. It was on sale, so I did. And was it worth it? No, not really. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it is what it is. So, I'm not going to say that I wasted $12. It was an interesting experience. It also took place in like 2001, I do believe. So it's a little bit further back. You had the old tube TV. Like, we don't have the HD TV and all that stuff in this game. So it was kind of nice to go back to a time that I remember. Like, I was a kid once, and I was a kid in 2001. I was like 8 years old. So it was kind of interesting to play someone else's memory. It was something. So I don't know, if you're looking for something different, you're looking for a quick narrative-based soccer thing, this is your game, Despelote. But I'd hit it with a 7 out of 10. Really cool art style, music. There's really not much to gameplay here. You're just kind of walking around kicking a soccer ball. Not much going on right there. So that's my opinions on Despelote. We'll go over now to Skate Story. And Skate Story came out on the PlayStation Plus thingy. It came out, just dropped. I heard really good things coming into Skate Story. Like, I didn't hear anything about it until it was coming out on PlayStation. They're like, oh yeah, I've heard great things about Skate Story. It's previewed really well. Looks like a really good game. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm interested. You got me at skateboarding. I was like, skateboarding, sweet. If it's good, I'll check it out. And last time I checked, I think it had an 87 on Metacritic, which is very, very high. That's very good. That's definitely worthy of a checkout. Games, like, for me, the ones that are must checkouts, or at least must checkouts for games that like a game style. If it's a fighting game and it's got like an 89 on Metacritic, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll check it out, but probably not likely because I'm just not a fighting game guy. But say a strategy game comes out and it's got a 90, that's instantly put on my must play list because it's a game style that I like, and apparently it's reviewing very well, so I'll put that on my must. The lowest I'll go, like, I don't care if it's got an 80 plus on Metacritic, and I have interest in it, I'll put it on my list. If it was a game that I had interest in and it came out and it was only like a 70, then it'll still be on my list, but it'll probably just get notched down a little bit. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But Skate Story at an 8, it started, I think, at an 80, then it jumped up to an 87, it got more reviews, so I was like, hell yeah, dude, I got very excited to get into this game, and I did. And it's a very strange game. I'll give you the cliff notes of what the hell's going on here. So you are a demon skater made out of glass. So you are this glass freaking demon dude. You are very, very hungry. So you decide to eat the moon. Yeah. Then you sign a contract with the devil. That's always a good idea. Then you need to skate through the underworld, devouring 7 moons to meet the devil and save yourself, or some shit like that. Weird as fuck story. All I can say, weird as fuck story. I wasn't really here for the story in Skate Story, but I was along for the ride. You have like bunnies with creepy glass eyes coming out of nowhere, fucking giant ass centipedes. You got demons throwing up moons. Like, this game is weird. It's got some weird shit going on in it, but it's also got some cool gameplay. So we'll talk about that. But before we get to that, let us discuss the graphics of this game. Very cool art design. Like I said, you're made out of glass. And the world, I'm not going to say the world is made out of glass, but the world kind of has like a glassy reflection. A lot of cool colors and stuff bouncing off of the glass. Very cool color and style to this game. So that's a thumbs up. Watching your skater shatter into pieces every time you bail, it's really cool at first. So, you're skating, you bump into something, you smash to the ground, and you smash to 1,000 pieces. Now, they do it in an interesting way where you kind of go first person when you crash, and you are the camera. So you kind of crash the same way every time, and you don't really get to see like the glass like scatter all across the ground. Like, I would have preferred just let the camera pan out and like let me see all the glass like shattering everywhere and get a whole view of everything. Instead, it goes first person and like really just kind of narrows down what you're gonna see on that bail. So overall, I didn't like the bails in this game. Like, I'm a skate guy, so bales are a huge thing, the Hall of Meat and everything. So I was really hoping for a little more out of the bales in Skate Story, and I was a little bit let down by that one. That was a missed opportunity there, I think, with the whole glass demon thing, because that's the whole gimmick, right? Is, oh, you're this glass demon, and that's essentially the whole gimmick. Is like when you crash, you shatter, but there's really not a lot to it. You shatter kind of the same way every time. It's not that satisfying, honestly, so I was a little bit let down by that. But I wasn't let down by the performance of the game overall. It was very smooth. It ran very nice. It had the odd stutter once in a while, but nothing egregious. And I mean, like, it happened maybe 1 or 2 times, so not something that I could really ding it for. But it's a short game. It's not as short as Despelote. It took me about 8 hours or so, 8.5 hours to get through Skate Story. So all said and done, through my 8 hours having 1 stutter, pretty good overall, I would say. We got to talk about the sound design of this game, dude. The soundtrack in this game is fucking phenomenal. It is already on the short list for the XE Awards Soundtrack of the Year. It's already nominated because it was amazing. You got these awesome funky beats going on in this game. Chillin' tunes where you're just skating, you're just chilling, absolutely vibing to the music. And then when the game goes off, they have some absolutely unbelievable, like, techno jams when you're doing the boss fights and shit like that, dude. I was locked in. When the music kicks off in this game, dude, oh my god, it's freaking awesome. Love the music in this game. There is no voice acting, so there's no characters that you're talking to characters, but there's no voice acting, so you're just reading, and they're just making noises in that. But the sound effects of the board and everything, the skateboard sounds really good. Sounds like a skateboard, man. I was a skater once. Way back in the day, I used to skateboard. I was very, very bad at it. So bad that I retired from it, because I skated for like a year and a half. Still couldn't really do anything with the board. Like, I could barely ride the damn thing. I could do, like, maybe an ollie once in a while. Like, I was not good. I had no balance. I was too fat. I was too damn fat to skateboard, so I couldn't do it. But regardless, the music in this game, it's top notch. I was really blown away at how good it was, how often I was just bopping to the music. And there was times I didn't, like, get up out of my seat, but when you move up and you're just like, you get more focused, you're just like, oh, like, it brought me out of my chair a few times where I was like, wow, this is really, really good. I got chills at times listening to the music. I had no problem choosing the music for this episode. There were so many bangers in throughout this game, especially the boss fight music. Hell freaking yeah. But let's get into the gameplay of this game. The bread and butter, I would say, of Skate Story is the gameplay. And it's a unique skateboarding game. Controls similar to Tony Hawk and Skate, so if you played those games before, I'm not going to say that you're going to come in here and you're going to do every trick right away. There is a little bit of a learning curve. You're going to have to learn the controls. But me, I'm a Tony Hawk veteran. I came in, I started doing tricks right away. I was like, all right, I kind of understand what's going on. I would say it's closer to Skate than it is Tony Hawk. But we'll get to that. So it's kind of focused in on the board. I'm not going to say it's like in Skate 1 where it's like mostly zoomed in on the board and your skater's feet. It's a little bit more like Tony Hawk. It's a little more third person. You can see yourself and see things around you. It's not focused in on the board. But to start the gameplay, you push the board with the the square button, and you build up your speed. You just, you got to get that speed going, and you push circle to pop an ollie. That's how you get in the air, and that's your basics. Then to do tricks. So to do tricks, you're using a combination of your back paddle buttons, R1, R2, L1, L2. Use a combination of those. So you press circle to get your ollie ready. So it took me a while to learn this. So you can actually just, I thought I had to like hold the buttons. So for example, I wanted to do a kickflip. So I hold circle for my ollie, get that ready, and then I hold L1 and I'll do a kickflip. That's not how it's actually done. You don't have to hold it. You can hold the button, but you can simply just press it and it'll like lock in that move combo, and you can just go ahead and do it. So you can just tap circle, tap L1, boom, you got yourself a heel flip or a kick flip. You're doing that, or I guess it would be a shove it. If you press R2, then you got a kick flip. You can combine moves, so you could sit there and do an L1, R2. Now you're doing like a variable kick flip. You're doing variable heel flips, hard flips. You got a whole bunch of skate tricks here. I have a thing. It's sort of a negative, but there's no grab tricks in this game. So it's strictly a street skater. So you're doing grinds, you're doing kick flips, you're doing street moves. You're not doing any Tony Hawk shit. You're not doing 900s. You're not pulling off Japans and methods and Benihanas. None of that. So they even have like vert ramps and shit like that sometimes in the game, but you can't use them, which is very disappointing. Like, I want to get big air and get way up there. You can't do that. So even though they have those ramps in this game, you can't use them. You can go up them, but you get no air. It just kind of slows you down. So that was kind of disappointing. Maybe in Skate Story 2 they introduced the grab tricks, but strictly this game is street. They're sticking to the street, not going vert. So we're staying towards the ground, which, again, missed opportunity. You come to a skateboarding game, you expect to get all the tricks, but not in Skate Story. You're just doing street stuff. But regardless, a very good introduction. Tutorial to do all this. It slowly brings you up to speed. So one thing at a time, and it'll slowly bring you up to speed. Then you get the more advanced tricks, like grinds. You can do manuals and nollies, switch tricks and spins. That's kind of like your more advanced stuff. So you can also do like more advanced tricks, like I said. So you can combo up the moves, and you can like double tap L1 and R2, and then you're doing like double kick flips. You're doing like pop shove-its, and if you press the directional pad in the air, you'll do like a 360 or a 180. You can revert, so that means you're doing like switch tricks. Just gives you more points and allows you to do different combinations of moves. And the nollie. Really like the nollie moves. You press the directional pad upwards, then you're in the nollie stance. It makes you go a little bit slower, so you got to be a little bit quicker when you're in the nollie stance because it'll slow you down. But boom, you're pulling off nollie tricks, and you're just doing a lot of combos. So that's the basic fundamentals of the controls. Very easy. It takes a little bit to get used to from the Tony Hawk, because you're kind of used to just pressing like square and circle to do all your grab tricks. Now it's all on your back paddle buttons, which I found quite satisfying to do. Once I learned that I didn't have to hold the buttons, it became a lot easier. I was pulling off advanced tricks, 360s. Like, I don't know what the most advanced trick, but like my number one like advanced trick that I would go to would be like a switch nollie, double kick flip 360. Like, oh baby, hit that with a grind, and like, oh yeah. And the grinds are pretty good. It's as simple as just ollieing up on a ledge and grinding it. You can't choose what grind you want to do. Like, it doesn't have the grinding options like it does in Tony Hawk and Skate and stuff. It doesn't have like board slides. You can't do dark slides. Like, it's pretty much 50-50s and like a standard board slide. You might do a crooked every now and again, but it's not telling you that. It's just grind. So a grind is a grind is a grind, which, again, another missed opportunity where it's like there's tons of grinds, bro. There's so many different kind of grinds, and manuals aren't really all that important in the game either. You don't have to, like, to keep your combo going, you don't have to like be as efficient with it like you are in Tony Hawk. Like, you have to keep the trick going all the time. In Skate Story, they give you a little leeway. You can land a trick, kind of skate a little bit, and your score will go down, but your combo will continue going onward. So you have a good leeway to keep your combos going, and I easily was getting over 100,000 point combos, like, not hard. You get a lot of points from grinding, so if you are struggling, and just do grinds. Grinds, you get a ton of points for doing them. You definitely don't get as many points for doing flip tricks. Like, for 10 flip tricks equals like one decent grind. So just do the grinds. It's way easier to do it that way. So you're introduced to all these tricks. Like I said, manuals, and again, manuals is another thing. There's thousands of manual tricks out there, and you can't really do it. You can't even do a nose manual, I think, in this game. It's strictly manual, like a regular ass manual. So there are definitely some like key moves that you are not able to do in Skate Story, which is a little bit disappointing. It's really focused on street skating, which is admittedly my preferred. That's where I prefer to go. If I had to choose, I would be a street skater. I find it to be the most fun. But regardless, what are you doing in Skate Story? So what is the objective? The objective is to collect these moons. So you get into these levels, and the levels are very Tony Hawk-like. You get into these areas, very skatable levels. There's grind options all over the place, ledges and ramps and bunch of stuff to skate. So the levels are very well made. They're not very big. Like, it's not immense, and they're not built like Tony Hawk levels. Like, you're not getting onto a level, you don't have like 5 minutes to go out, go find the skate letters, go pop a combo, go do this, go collect do some random stuff. That's not what you're doing. That's not what this game is about. You start every level, you're looking for a moon to eat, and you go around doing like odd jobs and stuff like that, odd little tasks, and could be anything from doing, racing through gates, which this game has a great sense of speed. There are some parts where you're just kind of skateboarding through like kind of narrow passages, and the speed is excellent. You feel like you're going very, very, very fast. So that is a huge that's a plus for this game. Its sense of speed. You go very fast on that board. Those ones are really fun. Excuse me. You're doing trick combos. You'll come into these like moonlit areas, and it's basically like in this moonlit area, do tricks in this moonlight and hit the score number. Okay, I want you to get 5,000 points in this area. Boom, do that, and you unlock that. You do that. Destroying mean skateboard hating eyes. They have these eyeballs that don't like you. You can do tricks on them, in them, or whatever, around them, and they'll go away and leave you alone. Taking out moon spots we talked about. There's like they'll kind of like put you on a leash or something, and then when you're on the leash, you have to do certain things. They'll tell you, okay, do a flip trick, do a manual, do an ollie, do a nollie, do a 360, so you follow the combo of moves they want you to do. Those ones are pretty fun. And then you have the boss fights against the moons, which are very, very fun. And they have some challenge. Some of them are a little bit challenging. Basically, you'll have like a time limit, and you got to hit the amount, you got to hit the score number that they want you to hit. And sometimes the moon is like, you got to chase after the moon, you got to get in its moonlight, and you got to hit a stomp combo move. So basically, that's how you attack. You just make a big combo, all right? I just popped off like 10 tricks in a row. I got like a 30,000 combo going. Boom, jump up in the air, hit square, and you stomp the ground, and that's how you damage enemies in this game, aside from doing tricks. Depends on the enemy, but the moons, that's what you're doing. And the music, like I said, during these boss fights are absolutely phenomenal. They're also really good at like displaying a sense of urgency, because you got the timer, the music's going crazy, you are just flying. Like I said, the sense of speed in this game is really, really good. So you're just ripping around, trying to dodge, like they'll be shooting stuff at you, you're dodging obstacles, you're trying not to shatter to pieces, because you can just wipe out. You can just hit a ledge and you'll just wipe the fuck out. You can get off the board. You can press triangle, get off the board and walk around. It's not really used for anything. Like, there are maybe the odd stairs that you can just go up. It'd be easier than trying to ollie up the stairs or something. But you can do that. You can get off the board. You can also, very similar to Skate, they call it the skater's mark. You could just set down like a mark on any spot in the map, and you can teleport back to that spot at any time by pressing the middle button. And that is just a setup. If you find a really good skating spot, you find a spot that you really like, you're like, ooh, there's a nice set of stairs here with a nice grind option. Boom, I'll set my skater's mark, and I can just hit the spot over and over and over again. Very useful for the moon spots when you got a little area you got to do combos in. You can set up the moon mark or the skater's mark and just set yourself up for success and just bam, 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 get them done instead of, inching your way around. I will say the camera can be a little bit finicky at times. It's not fully automatic. You do have to control the camera at times where you do have to move it behind you, and that's when I wish it was just auto. Like I thought it was, but it wasn't. You actually have to move the camera yourself to keep it behind you, which was a decision that they made, not the best decision, but the camera wasn't horrible. It wasn't ruining my experience or anything. I just noticed that at times it can be a little finicky where I do have to adjust it back to where it needs to be. So that was a situation. Other than that, the boss fights are probably the the pinnacle of the game. That's my favorite parts of the game are the boss fights and like the parts that you're just absolutely ripping down this little skateways and you're pulling off tricks and combos at max speed. Very fun. And you got these like police dudes that also try to yuck your yum. They're trying to stop you from skating. I think they're called the fuzz police, something like that. You just take them out with tricks. They're really not that big of a threat. There's not really any major threats other than yourself just wiping out. And you can also buy new gear and stuff like that. They didn't have like the best options. There is like a store on each level you can go visit, and you could buy some new decks, buy some stickers, and you can put a bunch of stickers on your board. They're a little bit expensive. The stickers are $25 a piece. You are collecting money throughout the game to buy yourself new decks and trucks and wheels. Like I said, the customization isn't all that. Like, it's there. It just doesn't really do a lot. There's no customization to the skater. The skater, he's just a big old piece of glass, so you can't change the colors of the glass, can't put a hat on him, can't put funny sunglasses on him. He just is what he is. He's just that. But collecting the boards, yeah, it's there. You can collect them. They're fun. Like, they have cool designs. It's just that you rarely see the board. You're skating on it, so you're rarely going to see the bottom of the board. And you can sit there and stick 1,000 stickers on it and get a trophy for that. I didn't do it, but the trophies are pretty good. I like the trophies. Get a 100,000 point combo. Do this, do that, do this trick, and finish this mission. They're pretty good. Yeah, I had a great time with Skate Story, so we'll kind of wrap it up here, and let's talk about the cons that I had with the game. Like I said, the camera can be finicky. Sometimes you got to move it around to kind of get it adjusted, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't getting like caught on stuff. It wasn't in a bad angle. It's just sometimes I got to bring it around to get behind me. No grab tricks. That's a missed opportunity. Now I understand that's like a whole another side of the game. You're gonna have to develop all that, but for the sake of, why would you have vert ramps in the game if you weren't going to allow me to do vert tricks on them? Like, you can't even really use them. So that was disappointing. That's definitely something they can look to if they're going to do a Skate Story 2. Add in some grab tricks. That would be sick. I found that the bails got really stale after a while. It's the same, like I said, it was a pretty big missed opportunity, I think, with the whole glass thing. I think they could have done a lot more with the glass breaking instead of going into this first-person mode and you wipe out, and, like, it feels like you wiped out. Like, I don't hate it. It's just that the whole point is you being made out of glass. Like, I would expect these, like, really awesome glass-shattering type of bails, like maybe my head shatters off, or just my arms and my legs go down, or like it's always the same shatter every single time, and it just got stale after a while. At first I was like, ooh, cool, and then like after an hour of the same bail, I'm like, all right, this is getting stale. This feels like a missed opportunity where we could have had a lot more types of bails. Like, I don't know, I thought it would have been really cool. Anyway, that's just something for me. I love bails. Like, I need a good scorpion bail in my skateboarding game, because, like, come on, I need to like snap my neck, I need to break my back. I love that in Skate, where they double down on it and they're like, yo, it's the Hall of Meat, like, go out there and fuck yourself up. Like, I was kind of hoping for more of that element out of this game, where it was like, all right, you're a piece of glass, go out there and fucking shatter yourself. And like, they could have done some challenges where maybe I launch myself and I'm trying to shatter myself and get the most points or something like that. Definitely a missed opportunity with the glass. Like, there wasn't a lot done with the glass. That's a concept of the game that kind of piques your interest when you tell somebody, like, hey, there's a skateboarding game where you're made out of a piece of glass, and they go, well, what does that mean? And honestly, it doesn't really mean anything. It's when you wipe out, you just shatter to pieces and you get back up and you're fine. So yeah, I was kind of hoping they would have done more with the glass, so that was a little bit disappointing. They don't have... there's a couple of segments that I didn't like in this game. There is this segment where it's kind of like mini skateboarding. You're kind of really far away from the screen. Didn't like that part because it was hard to see and you're going very, very fast, so I didn't like that. And then there's some non-skateboarding segments that were rather lame. Apart, I think when you're throwing up the moons or whatever, that was like, you're just walking around, like there was nothing going on. I didn't like the non-skateboarding parts. Thankfully, they're not very, very long and they're few and far between. There's only like 2 parts, I think, where you're not actively skateboarding and you're doing something on foot, that it's just not exciting. It's not very good. But outside of that, the things that I liked about this game, I thought the controls were very fun. Once you get them, they're very satisfying to use. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed pulling off advanced tricks. I like doing tricks. I like setting together combos, and it just felt really good. And they had an awesome sense of speed. I really like pointing that out, man. It was just the going really, really fast and just pulling off these combos, getting big air. Very, very satisfying. I thought the glass physics were cool. Like, when you shatter, like, it was pretty cool, but like I said, they didn't do a lot with it. Amazing soundtrack. That is my favorite part about this game, is the soundtrack. Excellent soundtrack, freaking bumping tunes, awesome techno music for the freaking boss fights. Got me pumped up. The art style and the graphics are really unique. I thought they were cool. Good looking video game. Good level design. I had a good time on all the levels skateboarding. They're not going to be like as iconic as some of the Tony Hawk levels. Like, they're not, they're no airport, they're no fucking Canada, they're not as good as Tony Hawk levels, because they also don't have, it's strictly street related, so they're a little bit flat, they're a little bit kind of samey, like they all kind of have, the same style of stuff to do. They don't have, like I said, they do have vert ramps in there, but you can't use them properly, so I don't get the point of that, other than it just kind of, it's good. Good art style, good level design, and very fun boss fights. I really enjoyed the boss fights in this game. Definitely the highlight of the gameplay would be the boss fights. Very enjoyable, and just the right amount of challenge. I wasn't able to beat them all right away. It took me a little bit to get my tricks in order, and you have a pretty small time limit to get, get 150,000 points in like 3 minutes. You're like, damn, that's kind of crazy, and I did it. But I beat this game. Like I said, it's not a very long game. 8-ish hours you'll have her done, and I think it is very worthwhile. I don't know how much it is to purchase this game, but if you have the PlayStation Plus and you have it available to you, I think absolutely check it out, especially if you like Tony Hawk and you like skate games. I think you're going to get a kick out of this one, or a kickflip out of this one, if you will. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Did it scratch the Tony Hawk and skate itch? I think it did a pretty good job, honestly. I think it did. I still want, like, a new skate game. I would have preferred a new skate, or, I think my Tony Hawk itch is pretty good after I had 1, 2, 3, and 4 remake, and not that long ago I played those. So I'm doing good. I still have a itch for skate. So, I don't know, I think it scratches a skateboarding itch, but it didn't scratch my skate itch, if that makes any sense. I still want to play a nice new skate game with Hall of Meat and all that stuff. So, basically, the elements that were missing out of Skate Story is still what I'm missing. I didn't get my grab tricks. I didn't get my big, crazy, special moves. Like, you don't have any special tricks in this game either. Not like a triple kickflip or anything like that. You're not building up a combo meter and you could pull off a special move. Nothing like that. So that's another thing they could add in another. I would absolutely be down for them to do a sequel to this game if they're interested. I'm interested. This is, like, I was so impressed with this game. I would give this company, like, reins to the skate IP, the Tony Hawk IP, and, like, let them make a new skate game, because they built a very strong skateboarding, what would you call it? Engine here. It performs very well. It feels very, very good. If they could just figure out how to add in grab tricks, which I think is very doable, I think you got yourself, like, an actual really good skateboarding video game right here, and that could compete against the big boys. This is an indie game, so I'm not expecting it to battle the likes of EA's Skate and whoever the fuck makes Tony Hawk now, but I had a blast. I had a blast with this game. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a banger. I think it's absolutely worth your time, especially if you like skateboarding. Definitely check out Skate Story. Definitely a good time. 8 out of 10. And there we go, everybody. A little bit of a shorter episode. That's why we're calling it a mini indie episode, because it's just little bite-sized indie review. I wanted to get in another game. Thank goodness you're here. It's another one that apparently I can get through really quickly, but I could definitely do another mini indie review at some point for sure. I have a lot more indie games on my list that I need to take down. 1000X Resist, Thank Goodness You're Here, Sword of the Sea, I think it's called. So maybe we do another mini indie episode in the not so distant future, and we could talk about some more indie games, because I love my indie games. They just don't always fill up a full episode by themselves, because they're kind of bite-sized games. Like I said, Despelote took me about 2 hours. That's it. And there wasn't a lot of meat on that bone. There wasn't a lot to it. There was like no collectibles. The trophy list is pretty weak. All it is the mini game the little mini soccer game that you're playing. Pretty much all the trophies revolve around that. Like, one's like score 10 goals, get scored on 15 times, so on and so forth. I got 4 gold trophies for playing Despelote, and that felt good. So if you want some easy gold trophies, play Despelote. But like I said, highly recommend Skate Story. I think that is worth your time and money if you like those games. Despelote, I think just watch it, dog. I think just watch a playthrough of it. If you don't want to drop, it's not a very expensive game, but it wasn't a very long game, and it's not a game I think I'm going to remember very fun. Like, it's not that I hated it. It's just like didn't click, didn't hit for me. Sometimes that happens. Wasn't bad, wasn't great. It was just kind of an experience that I had. I wanted to check it out. I'm happy that I did. I wasn't mad that I spent $12 on this game. It was fine, but I don't know. It's definitely worth a look just to see the art style and all that. It's very quirky, very interesting art style for Despelote and Skate Story. Both of them are very unique looking games. But there we go, everybody. Another episode down. Thank you so much for listening. In terms of what we're going to be doing with the podcast, I'm thinking Helldivers next, Arc Raiders, then we do the verses. And then maybe by then, I don't know what we're going to do after that. Probably a list. Maybe I'll have another mini indie episode. We'll see what's going to happen. But those are the ones I'm planning on doing next. And thank you so much for listening. You are awesome. You want to be even more awesome than you already are, make sure you're reviewing and sharing the podcast around with a few friends, maybe an enemy or two. Why not? And I upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel, Gamer GX Videos. Link in the description. Go over there, follow the YouTube channel, subscribe, please and thank you. That would be awesome. Great place to drop a comment on the YouTube episodes. You can drop comments there. Let me know what you're playing. Any movie recommendation, episode recommendations, let me know. And you could drop comments on Spotify as well. I have a little bit of a hard time seeing them. I don't get like notifications for those, so I try to do my best and check out the Spotify comments. But yeah, just let me know what y'all are playing and what you're doing, and we'll be back again with some out GX Plus Cast.